If your kidneys were starting to struggle, would you catch it early enough to do something about it? Most people think they would. But for a lot of people, the early changes do not feel dramatic at all. They feel ordinary. A little ankle swelling at night, more trips to the bathroom, brain fog in the morning, less energy than you used to have. And because these signs can blend into everyday life, many people ignore them until a blood test finally gets their attention. That is what makes this so easy to miss. It is not always one big mistake. Sometimes it is the quiet pattern in the kitchen. In this video, I am going to show you 6 common spices that may fit into a more kidney-friendly routine when used the right way. But even more important, I am going to give you one simple 10-second kitchen rule that decides whether these spices are actually helping your habits or just sitting on top of the same old problem. Stay with me, because that one rule is simple, practical, and once you know it, you may never look at your pantry or grocery cart the same way again. This is not a diagnosis, and it is not about miracle cures. It is about smarter daily choices, especially if you are trying to protect your energy, your mobility, and your independence as you get older. So let's start with number 6. Number 6. Garlic. Garlic is not just there to make food taste better. It may be useful because it fits naturally into a blood pressure-friendlier way of eating, and that matters for long-term kidney health. Your kidneys depend on steady blood flow, and over time, when blood pressure stays high or blood vessels become less flexible, those tiny filters can face more strain than most people realize. Garlic contains sulfur compounds that have been studied for vascular and antioxidant effects. That does not mean garlic treats kidney disease. It means garlic may be a smart kitchen staple in a routine that puts less pressure on the body over time. So garlic's job in this video is simple. It helps support a more circulation-friendly, pressure-aware eating pattern. A practical way to use it is to crush or chop fresh garlic. Let it sit briefly, then add it to vegetables, soups, beans, fish, or chicken. And if you take blood thinners or garlic bothers your stomach, it is a good idea to check with your clinician before using it regularly. Number 5. Ginger. Ginger has a different job. This one is really about satisfaction. A lot of people do not drift toward processed foods because they want junk. Sometimes they do it because they feel tired, their appetite feels off, or plain food just stops feeling enjoyable. That is where ginger can help in a very practical way. Ginger brings warmth, bite, and comfort to food. It can make a simple meal feel more complete, which may help reduce the urge to reach for packaged snacks, sugary comfort foods, or salty convenience meals later in the day. It also contains compounds like gingerols that have been studied for antioxidant and anti-inflammatory activity. But in real life, ginger's biggest strength here is simpler than that. It helps plain food feel worth eating again. And when healthier food feels satisfying, routines become easier to keep. Fresh ginger works well in tea, broths, soups, cooked vegetables, and simple stir-fries. Start small if your stomach is sensitive. Number 4. Cinnamon. Cinnamon plays a very different role from garlic and ginger. This one is about making lower sugar transitions easier. For many people, blood sugar and kidney health are part of the same bigger picture. That does not mean cinnamon is a fix. It is not, but it may help bridge the gap between what tastes comforting and what puts less strain on the body over time. Cinnamon can make oatmeal, plain yogurt, apples, or tea feel more satisfying without leaning so heavily on added sugar. That is where its real value often shows up. Some research suggests cinnamon may modestly support glucose-related markers in some people, but the bigger everyday benefit is often behavioral. It can help people step down from sweeter habits without feeling like everything healthy tastes flat. So cinnamon's job is clear. It helps with lower sugar transitions. One caution: normal food amounts are one thing, large daily amounts are another, especially with cassia cinnamon. Using it in food makes sense. Treating it like a miracle does not. And here is a quick question for you. Which one is harder for you to cut back on? Salt or sugar? Comment salt or sugar below. That answer may help someone else here too. Number 3. Cumin. Cumin should not be sold as a miracle spice. Its value is more practical than that, and honestly, that makes it easier to trust. Cumin's job is savory completeness. A lot of people rely on seasoning packets, bouillon cubes, bottled marinades, and instant mixes because they make food taste finished fast. The problem is that many of those shortcuts also bring a heavy sodium load. Cumin helps from a kitchen strategy angle. It adds warmth, depth, and a fuller savory taste to soups, beans, lentils, vegetables, and simple home-cooked meals. In other words, it helps food taste complete without always needing the packet. That is why cumin matters here. Not because it promises some dramatic kidney effect, but because it is a habit-supporting spice. It helps move the kitchen away from sodium-heavy flavor shortcuts and towards something simpler and steadier. And that is a useful change. Try freshly ground cumin or lightly toasted seeds in soups, vegetables, or stews. It is not flashy, but sometimes the quiet changes are the ones that stick. Number 2. Coriander seeds. Coriander seeds have a lighter role on this list, and that is exactly how they should be used. This one is more about fresh flavor and lighter meals. Sometimes food does not need more salt. Sometimes it just needs a brighter, fresher layer of flavor so it does not feel dull or heavy. Coriander seeds can help with that. They add a clean, slightly citrusy note that works well in soups, vegetables, beans, and simple stovetop meals. And when food feels lighter and more enjoyable, people may be less likely to fall back on salty, greasy, heavily processed options. So, coriander is not here as a miracle promise. It is here as a simple, flavor-building tool that can make better habits easier to repeat. Lightly crush the seeds and use a small amount in simple cooked dishes. Number 1. Turmeric. Turmeric may be the most famous spice on this list, and that is exactly why it needs the most honest explanation. Most people hear turmeric and think detox, cleanse, repair. But the truth is more grounded than that. Turmeric contains curcumin-related compounds that have been studied for inflammation and oxidative stress. Those pathways matter in long-term health. But turmeric is not a reset button, and it should not be treated like one. What it may do well is help anchor a style of cooking that is warmer, steadier, and less dependent on ultra-processed flavor systems. It can become one of those spices that shows up in real meals, made from real ingredients. That is where it makes sense. So turmeric's role is not instant detox. It is helping support a steadier, more anti-inflammatory eating pattern over time. Used in soups, beans, vegetables, stews, and simple savory meals, it can fit naturally into a repeatable kitchen routine. Supplements are a separate conversation, especially if you have chronic kidney disease, medication interactions, gallbladder concerns, or a history of kidney stones. And now let me give you the hidden kitchen rule I promised at the beginning. The one daily habit that decides whether these spices help at all is this: what the spice replaces matters more than what the spice is. That is the tip most people never hear. If you add turmeric to a salty frozen dinner, stir cinnamon into a sugar-heavy drink, or throw garlic and ginger into a routine built around packaged meals and frequent pain reliever use, the spices are not doing much heavy lifting. They are not stronger than the pattern. But when those spices help you replace part of the hidden burden, that is where things can start to shift. So here is your 10-second kitchen rule. Before you buy a repeat food item, check 3 things: the sodium line, the added sugar line, and the ingredient list. That is it. If all 3 look rough, no spice in the world is going to make that food kidney-friendly. This is not about perfection. It is about catching the pattern earlier. And that matters even more as we get older, because kidney health is often shaped by combinations people do not always think about at the same time. Blood pressure, blood sugar, hydration habits, medications, swelling, appetite changes, and convenience foods that quietly became part of daily life. One more thing deserves a quick mention. Water matters, but not everyone needs the same fluid plan. If you have chronic kidney disease, heart failure, swelling problems, or fluid restrictions, your hydration plan may need to be individualized. The same goes for regular NSAID use. A lot of people think over-the-counter pain relievers are harmless because they are common, but regular use may add kidney pressure over time, especially in the wrong setting. So here is the real takeaway. Do not ask whether one spice can save your kidneys. Ask whether your routine is getting friendlier or harsher. Start with one meal, one label check, one less salty shortcut, one more flavor swap you can actually repeat. That is how support turns into progress. And I want to make this practical for you. Comment checklist below if you want me to make a simple kidney-friendly grocery checklist for people over 50. That way, the next time you shop, you will know what to look for without having to guess. And if you know a spouse, a brother, a sister, or a friend who still thinks kidney trouble always comes with pain, share this video with them. Sometimes, one small piece of practical information reaches someone at exactly the right time. And that can matter more than people think.